So I have finally got my hands on the LG 27-inch 240Hz esports gaming monitor. This thing is 1440p, it's OLED, and it looks great. And is it perfect? No, but we're gonna go over all of that in this video, and I'm gonna tell you who exactly this monitor is for. Just want to let you guys know, no, LG did not send this monitor out to me. I did buy this with my own money, even though that would not change my opinion of the monitor. And also, obviously, they're not paying me to make this review either, but I will tell you who is paying me. Our sponsor for today's video, Flexispot. Flexispot's E7 Pro Plus standing desk has been my desk of choice for the past year, featuring fantastic build quality, excellent long-term reliability, and stability supporting up to 355 pounds, useful features like the USB charger built into the keypad, and also saving up to 4 memory recall settings. Having dual motors for quick and quiet operation, going from sitting to standing makes it even easier to enjoy working from home and promoting a more active lifestyle. Flexispot always has fantastic deals going on, and the E7 Pro Plus standing desk starts under $600 and features many styles to match any aesthetic that you have going on for your office. With eco-friendly products, 30-day free returns, and a 10-year warranty, you cannot go wrong with Flexispot's home office furniture. Check out the E7 Pro Plus standing desk at the first link in the description, and thank you to Flexispot for sponsoring this video. I hope you find something that helps you work comfortably and stay healthy. Starting off real quick, just going to be running through the exterior of the LG 27GR95QE-B. What a horrible monitor name. I don't know why they couldn't think of anything else. They finally got the naming scheme down with their TVs. Like, they got C series, B series, G series. That's so easy. Why didn't they do that with the monitors? I don't know. Anyways, back to the exterior. We have a super thin OLED design. It is a pretty rigid design, but this is the thing. I don't recommend that you pick up this panel by the sides of it, especially where there's no support. You're definitely going to want to lift this thing up by the bottom specifically, and I would grab the top of it very, very lightly, because if you grab it from the sides and especially at the top, you might break it. I highly recommend that you don't do it. If you are going to vase them on the monitor, which I do recommend, you might as well do it while you pull it out of the box, put it flat on its back, put the VESA mount on, and then lift it from top to bottom. That's the way you want to do it. You lift it from the sides. You're taking a couple chances that I would rather you not take. Now, LG does give you this nice little fancy remote to control the functions of the monitor, and don't get me wrong, it has great functionality, super easy to use, and you definitely do not want to lose it, because otherwise there's only one button on the monitor, and that's going to be the power button at the bottom of the panel. There's no joystick like there was in previous LG monitors and a lot of other gaming panels these days, so just to let you know, you cannot lose the remote. As far as your ports are concerned, there is one DisplayPort 1.4 port, two HDMI 2.1 ports, three USB 3.0 ports, a 3.5mm jack, as well as an optical port, which is really nice if you want to go ahead and connect a soundbar or some speakers directly to the back of your monitor. Both of my computers would not play audio out of the headphone jack, so I think that part of mine is defective. So just be wary if you are going to use the headphone port on your monitor. You definitely want to check that as soon as you get it. Now, personally, I never ever use headphones connected directly to my monitor, just in case I move. I don't want it to destroy my monitor if I get up very suddenly and I forget to pull out my headphones. This monitor does not feature any speakers at all, so you will have to rely on either the headphone port or the optical jack and plug in your own sound, or you can just leave your sound up to your computer and plug your speakers directly into that if that works out better for you. There are some LEDs on the back of the monitor as well. They're not super bright, which is going to be a trend talking about this monitor going forward in the future. You're only really going to get the background effect if you have your monitor really close to your wall and you're playing in a pretty dark room, but otherwise those LEDs are probably not going to do you much good. It is kind of nice that there is also an LED that is down firing that shows on your desk right in front of you, but again, it's nothing that's going to light up your entire desk. It's really just there to be an accent piece. Now, this is where all the fun starts. Going into the spec department, this is a 27-inch 1440p WOLED monitor with G-Sync compatibility, not a QD-OLED panel, because QD-OLED does tend to be brighter than WOLED panels these days, especially when it comes to sustained brightness, and that's going to be something that we're going to be talking about quite a bit in this video. But there are a couple of things you're going to want to do as soon as you unbox this panel. So you're going to want to turn off the smart energy saving mode, and you're also going to want to turn off the deep sleep mode, because it takes a little bit too long for this monitor to turn back on. And one thing that is nice about this panel is that whenever you're done using it and it goes into the sleep mode beforehand, it does do a little bit of like a pixel refresh mode. But the unfortunate part about that is that I did not find anywhere in the settings to manually start a OLED restoration mode of any kind, similar to how they have it on the Alienware. That is just not present in the OSD software of the LG. Now, this monitor is definitely going to be for somebody that is looking for an esports first panel. This thing has some of the best motion blur, or lack thereof, I should say, as far as clarity when it comes to gaming monitors right now. Now, granted, could it be a little bit brighter? Absolutely, of course it can, because during the brightness test, at 0%, it got all the way down to about 15 nits of brightness. And then at 100%, it got up to about 221 nits of brightness. Now, this is also showing a completely white screen, so it's not necessarily going to be the most bright, because OLED panels as a whole, I even have an OLED TV and a few other OLED panels in the house right now for testing. If you are showing an all white screen, it is going to get more dim. It's not going to be the same as LCD screens where you just get a super bright, blown out image because they don't have that high of contrast ratings, but that's just something that you're going to have to expect if you are going to move up to an OLED panel. Regardless of the caliber that it is, if you show an all white screen on an OLED, the sustained brightness is going to go way down, so you just have to keep that in mind. But again, this is going to have some of the best in class motion blur performance, and is going to be great for using for esports gaming if you are looking to get the clearest moving picture that you can have to have the best tactical advantage in game. Now, where the OLED monitor starts to shine is the fact that you can get great motion blur performance and also not sacrifice your content viewing experience. And I say content viewing to be very specific because this is a pretty balanced panel when it comes to multimedia experience. But when it comes to being a creator panel, don't get me wrong, it's decent as long as you calibrate it. But without calibration, this thing is pretty freaking bad. Looking at the color gamut measurements that I took, 98% of sRGB and 74% of P3 in the sRGB mode. And then also it had delta E's of an average of over 7, which is really not that great. But when you move it over to the vivid mode, I was thinking maybe the vivid mode is going to be a little bit better, but no. The delta E's went to over 33, which is absolutely insane. But it did get 95% of the P3 color gamut, so that is where maybe a little bit closer to where LG was grabbing those numbers to put on their website when they're describing the specs of this monitor. But without calibration, you're not going to get anywhere near the 98% that LG claims that this monitor gets. Now, on gamer mode 1, after post calibration and also using the highest brightness setting at 100, it did also achieve 95% of P3 color gamut, and then it had delta E's of under 2, just around 1.5. And really the only major spike that we see is going to be in the yellow department. It did have a pretty large delta E there, and that's why I was saying if you are a professional content creator and you are doing things to literally make content and then sell to make money, this is probably not going to be the one panel that you're going to want to use, because you're more than likely going to need another more accurate color display. But if you are an amateur, you're just making YouTube videos, quite frankly, on TikTok and Twitter and all this stuff, and a couple pictures here and there, this monitor is not going to destroy your images when it comes to repurposing them and putting them on social media. So you don't really have much to worry about. But if you are going to do that, you're probably going to want to drop $150 on a calibrator. I'll leave a link to the one that I use in the description below so that you can calibrate yours on your own. Now, getting back to the gaming performance of this thing, you do have a few different gaming modes. So you have a couple of gamer modes that they set for you, an FPS mode that does get decently bright, as well as a vivid mode, which is what I found myself in most of the time because I just thought that the colors looked the best in that mode, and also it did get a little bit brighter as far as sustained brightness is concerned. And of course, IPS monitors, they're definitely going to have a lot higher sustained brightness, and you're going to be able to get a lot more accurate colors when it comes to content creation specifically. But when you're playing games and you don't necessarily care about how accurate the colors look, but more so how good the colors look on the screen and how immersed you are inside of the game, this does way better than any IPS monitor that I have used personally. And it really only compares to other OLED monitors that I've used. So with that being said, would I rather have this, or would I rather have an IPS monitor that gets a little bit brighter and also looks washed out and also has a, well, backlight bleed. That's just the thing that you have to deal with if you are gonna go with an older panel technology that does not have the inherent advantages of having a much newer and better technology. So I have a pretty short list of pros and cons that I'm gonna go through with you guys. So some of the pros of this monitor, it is super clear when it comes to the motion blur performance, and as far as esports gaming, it is absolutely fantastic. If you are, again, looking for a tactical advantage when you are whipping and panning around your screen and you're looking to have the maximum clarity to spot your next target. Excellent color reproduction when it comes to immersion and having fun while you are playing games, and it does get really good after you calibrate it, but you just have to keep that in mind. If you are looking to do professional work on this monitor, you're definitely going to want to get it calibrated first. It does also feature HDMI 2.1, so you can use the full 1440p and 240Hz refresh rate over HDMI if you want to. Not entirely sure why you would do that when you could just use DisplayPort, but if you really want to, you can. And your console can only do 1440p 120Hz anyway, so until we get an update where we can use up to 240Hz on console, I don't really know if this is going to be that exact monitor that you are looking for. But given the fact that there's not really many other smaller 120Hz OLED displays made specifically for console, you're kind of a rock stuck in a hard place, so you might as well go ahead and get this one. The optical port is nice to have as well, to have really close to plug into a soundbar or other sound device. And of course, this monitor does offer a pretty balanced gaming and media viewing experience. And with this being first gen technology, we know that it is bound to go down in price from its current $1,000 price range. As far as the cons go, this monitor could be a lot brighter. Don't get me wrong, it could be, but when you're actually playing games or watching content, really either one, it is definitely bright enough, especially bright enough to have enough of an advantage to clearly be able to define the background from a subject. You're going to be perfectly fine gaming on this monitor, especially if you game during the tail end of the day when it's not super bright outside. But I will tell you that since this thing is not a glossy coating, it's not necessarily going to be the best to have direct light shining onto your monitor. But even if the panel was glossy and you do have direct light, the glossy display, you're just going to see a reflection of whatever direct light that you have facing your monitor. So really, I don't recommend gaming at all having any direct light on your monitor, because it's going to be distracting no matter what you're doing if you have a direct light source right above your monitor. And like I said before, this is also first generation technology, and we know that very imminently, even maybe this year, we probably will have another better 1440p 240Hz OLED monitor that is on the way, that will be brighter than this, better than this. Probably not faster, because OLED is already so fast where that doesn't really matter, but there will be something that comes out eventually that will surpass this, whether it be in the next 12 months or the next 24 months, but something better is definitely coming. Now, once it comes, how much is it going to cost? If this costs $1,000 now, I hope that this moves down in price and that upgrade costs around the same amount of money, hopefully not much more, because it's already really expensive as it is being $1,000 monitor. But the thing is, again, the Asus one that's going to use the exact same panel, but just with some tuning and some additional cooling, I hope that it is significantly worth the extra 20% more money, the extra $200 that you're going to pay to get that $1,200 Asus OLED monitor that is coming out pretty soon. That tuning and cooling that they're doing better be absolutely fantastic, and they better double the sustained brightness. That's what I really hope that Asus monitor does to really justify paying that much more money for that upgraded panel. And that slots in at that $1,200 price point and stays there. I really see that this monitor should be at around $750, and at that point I would definitely call this thing a deal, because then it would be squarely competing with the Zowie 360Hz TN panel, and even being 120Hz slower technically because of the refresh rate, it offers versatility that the Zowie, being a TN panel, could not offer at all. Even though it may have currently the best speed and clarity when it comes to having the fastest refresh rate and also having a slightly faster TN panel and all that stuff, this is going to offer significantly more versatility if you are looking to do more than just game on your monitor, which we all do. I know we all watch YouTube videos. You're watching a YouTube video right now. Watching a YouTube video on a TN panel, I'm pretty sure is not fun for anyone, so let's not kid ourselves here. But if I could only pick one monitor between the Alienware QD-OLED and the LG 240 hertz OLED, I would put it to you this way. If you are not a super Omega tryhard and you do enjoy ultra wide monitors, I would personally get the Alienware because it's going to be a little bit closer to an end game panel for you, because 165 hertz, quite frankly, is fast enough and it's OLED, so it's super quick and it's going to be nicer to look at than a 240 hertz IPS monitor. And also, with that being said, it's going to be a little bit wider, a little bit bigger, a little bit more screen real estate for you to use when you're doing productivity things. And also, while you're gaming, it's going to be more immersive because it's just massive and it's going to be colors blasting you in the face. Pause. But if you know that you are a super tryhard and you want a balanced media viewing and content consumption experience, then get the LG. I don't think that you're going to be disappointed. You might be like, it could be a little bit brighter, but at the end of the day, I would rather have a pretty medium brightness, clearer panel than a super bright washed out panel that is kind of clear and great for esports, in my opinion. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you again for watching, and yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Are you planning on purchasing one of these yourself? Are you planning on getting the Alienware OLED monitor? Are you planning on getting that new BenQ 48-inch OLED monitor that we're going to be taking a look at pretty soon? What are you planning on getting yourself? Or do you plan on getting the new Zowie 360Hz monitor that came out a few months ago, or even that Asus 360Hz IPS panel? If you guys are still interested in picking up an IPS panel, I do have a triple monitor review that we're going to be taking a look at: an Alienware, a BenQ, as well as an Asus monitor, and comparing all three of them to see which is the best IPS panel that is available today that is both 1440p and 240 hertz. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.